Welcome to the Dharamsala International Film Festival. This year is our 10th anniversary, and we are very excited to be offering you a lineup of great films, panels, and workshops. Our team has put together a really good package, and we hope you will be sitting at home, wherever you are, watching our programs and enjoying them. Today, I'm really excited to be welcoming Manoj Bajpai and Namrata Joshi. Both of them have been at the festival in Dharamsala with us, and I hope they will join us again very soon when things are on ground. In the meantime, Manoj, please, I would really want to thank you and say, I know you've taken a lot of time. You're very busy, and thank you for taking the time for joining us today. And Namrata, I would like to hand over to you now to take the conversation further.
Hi, Manoj.
Hi,
Good to
Namrata.
see you. So good to see you after a very long time. I think last time I met you was for just before Gali Guliyan. You know, I think we caught up and spoke about the film and your role in it at that time. To begin with, a big thanks for taking time out and being part of this special conversation, which will be a lead up to the 10th edition of DIF, which begins on the 4th of November. And also a big congrats for the National Award.
Thank you.
You got it for Bhosle, and if I'm not mistaken, Bhosle played at DIF in 2018, and you were here, were you?
Yes, I had the privilege to be there and rub shoulders with some of the cinephiles and the cinema literate. Yeah, it was a great time, and Ritu and everyone was such a great host. I still remember.
Before I get into your journey into acting, which is what we are kind of going to talk about, the highs and lows of it, the gratifying parts of it, the not so gratifying parts of it. Something about your experience, a little more about your experience in DIF and also the film festival circuit. You know, as an actor, you would have moved around in a lot of film festivals. How important has it been for you, and what has DIF meant especially for you?
Okay, should I start now?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, okay. So I'll start with DIF first. My mentor, my first theatre teacher, Mr. Barry John. So he decided to shift his base to his dream destination, that is Dharamshala. And I was happy for him because he has given it all to Indian theatre scene and he's contributed so much to Indian theatre. We wanted him to settle down, eventually in some place where he always wanted to. And it just so happened that, he was in Dharamshala. And when Ritu got in touch with me, the first and foremost, I'm being very forthright and honest. The first and, the first reason for my joy was that I'll get to meet Barry. Okay. And the first person who was shown so much belief in me, who has seen that, fire in me was Barry John, and he's like my second father. So I wanted to meet him. So, and at the same time, from all my actor friends or director friends like Anurag and everyone, they spoke very highly of this festival and how small and quaint it is, and how great an atmosphere that you get to see in Dharamshala when you attend the film festival. The excitement of being in Dharamshala was, yes, it was that I was going to meet Barry, but also I wanted to show him the film, and I wanted to show him the atmosphere of film festivals of this kind. I knew that Ritu and all of these people must be having a great difficulty in putting this up. I know how difficult it is to create this kind of a gathering of cinema lovers, and here I'm talking about all the independent films, not the mainstream cinema, where you get the sponsors very easily. When you're trying to create a festival in a place like Dharamshala, nothing is going in your favor. So I just wanted to be there physically, in to contribute in a very little way, whatever little way possible, to this kind of a festival. And the reason for me was just that, more than the films, I just wanted to show them that I'm with you. I'm here, physically. uh, the the experience of it was like a mela. When I was attending the film festival, the fair and the gala, all of it was so amazing, so different from all the film festivals that I've attended all over the world. It is it is one of a kind, and I have been promoting this festival since then. I keep all telling all my friends from the film industry, all the young guys that I meet. I keep telling them, if you're not doing anything, just go to Dharamshala, park yourself in some lodge and some hotel, and just go and watch films in Dharamshala, because you will not get that atmosphere anywhere. And then you'll get to appreciate these people and the films which are being shown there, and the makers and their creativity. This is one, and there are one or two more in this country that I know, Namrata, that all of you, people like you, always frequently visit those festivals, including DIF.
And I think with you putting in such a good word for it, people would be encouraged to watch it, this year online, unfortunately, particularly because there is a fabulous collection of films, whether it is features or documentaries or shorts. Before we again kind of get back to the conversation, just one reminder to everyone who is attending. There is a Q&A box right down the screen. Please put in your questions there. I promise I'll try to speak as little as possible and invite your questions more than kind of, keep chatting with Manoj. Manoj, to begin with, several awards, so much recognition. It must be like part and parcel of life right now for you, getting awards with the frequency that you've been getting. Do you recollect how it was like when you first got, your first award as an actor? What did it mean for you? Do you recollect the moment, the emotion?
Yes, the first one was, I think it was Filmfare for Satya, and I wanted my parents to be here. So, and my mother is too frightened to sit in a plane. She has fear of flying. So we got them. My brothers have, they have put them into the train, and uh, I met them at the Bombay Central station, and got them to my flat here. Yes, I remember that very clearly. How it all went off. For me, Filmfare was special because when I was a child in that small town, just before the film started, they used to show the Filmfare documentary of that year, and I'm quite mesmerized looking at all of those great stars walking in and taking awards and laughing. So it was a kind of a magical documentary that they used to show. So for me to be there was quite special. uh, my whole introduction to cinema happened through mainstream films, and the first award that I came to know about was a Filmfare, through those 15 minutes documentary that they used to show just before the film started. So yeah, I mean, but that was too fancy. It was the song and dances and the people coming in great clothes, and there was chaos. So all of that, uh, and which is so different from all the film festivals that I have attended so far, till now.
Manoj, you remember the gloss and the excitement. Does it still excite you as an actor to receive an award in the same way as it was for the first time, or have you grown more used to it?
Okay, that's a very good question. I mean, because the answer is going to be very unique. So the first few awards that year that I got for Satya, because Satya has really catapulted me to some kind of a a very average kind of a stardom that you can call it. Like everybody wanted to award Bikku Mhatre, and everybody wanted to celebrate Bikku Mhatre. I've seen all of, but after two awards, started getting boring for me, because uh, the what was boring me was not the award. What was boring me was the the chaos around it. When I saw that the awards were meaning way less, but other paraphernalia was taking a lot of importance. That kind of started boring me quite a lot. Getting ready and putting the nice perfume, that started exhausting me completely. And I'm still that way, because wearing a suit and itself is such a responsibility. I start feeling so constricted. So all of those paraphernalia I started completely exhausting me and boring me. So yeah, I mean, that's how. I mean, what do you can't expect anything different from a man who's come from such a place. For us, getting dressed up means um, uh, a a nice shirt and a nice pant. Mm, you know Here the designer was really putting it on to you, all kinds of things that you're not comfortable in. So yeah, those were the things which kind of completely exhausted me. And also I saw that the awards, in between awards, the whole nature of the event, the instead of an award function, the event nature of it was not, it didn't, kind of started getting to me quite a lot.
Mhm, mhm. But I'm quite surprised that acting requires you to kind of get into a character, which would mean a lot of physical aspect, in terms of the makeup, in terms of the get up.
Right.
But having done all that, you still feel getting dressed up for an award function
It's
irritates
very,
you still.
my God, and it's quite a job. And Namrata, till now, when I mean, just few days back, and when I was going for national award, uh, getting the right clothes uh, and really thinking so much about what you're going to wear is something is still doesn't go very well with me. But I after a point, you know that it's not your job. Give this job to somebody else. He will take care of it. You just wear it, go and come back. But I'm little finicky. My designer and whoever is giving me the clothes, they get frustrated with me, because whatever they give me, I immediately reject it, that I can't carry it. It has to be simple. It has to be, presentable. It can't be so gaudy. It can't, so I'm that kind of a person who is very, very careful about what I wear and what I don't wear. So, that's frustrating for the new generation of the designers.
Manoj, I think just like everyone else, I spot that poster behind a taxi driver. Yeah, tell us a bit more. Is this a role that you kind of look up to, which you really like,
Okay.
a film that you like?
Okay. So the first of all, the history of the poster. This is a painting actually, Namrata,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
it was presented to me by a painter. And it so happened that he forgot to write his name, and now after so many years, I don't remember his name. That's so silly of me. But I'm still trying to find that person who has given me such a fantastic gift. The taxi driver is everybody's favorite. It's a I personally, I must have seen more than 30, 40 times, and everyone, many times the actors and the directors sitting and chatting or relaxing, or in a get together, very close get together. Everyone asks me, what is so fascinating about Taxi Driver, apart from the film and the performance and the directorial expertise of Scorsese, the camera work. You know, what I remember the most, you'll be surprised. I only remember one shot of De Niro's eyes in the rearview mirror. That's all. For me, it opened my eyes about acting completely. And that too, I'm talking about when I was doing theater. I saw this film, and that shot completely changed the way I looked at acting. And my real journey actually started uh, after that. Uh, I wanted to achieve all of that, what I perceived from that particular shot. So for me, Taxi Driver is that shot, and everything else got blurred.
Mhm. Manoj, we talk about the struggles in cinema. We talk about the struggles in acting. One very interesting bit which struck me with while we were conversing, Ritu, you and I, before the session started, is that fear you spoke of, that suddenly one day you will forget acting. I want you to, tell our attendees a bit about it, because I thought it was a very interesting thing to hear an actor talk about the fear of not being able to act.
Yes, I mean that fear. I think it is with every actor, but with me, it's far more intense. And also because of that, I started chasing uh, new directors like Devashish Makhija, Kanu Behel, or Ram Reddy, or Dipesh Jain, uh, you know, uh, or Soumendra or Budhya Singh, all of these guys, I started looking for these kind of directors because somewhere I've realized that this is the only Manoj Bajpayee, and this Manoj Bajpayee has had these many experiences in terms of his reading, observational life, living life. But after a point, this Manoj Bajpayee will have that much and no more. So how do you? And this fear of not evolving and forgetting to act was always there in me, is still there in me. So to overcome that, I realized that the only way I can overcome is by surrendering to the new generation of directors who look at cinema very differently from the last generation. Okay, so when I'm working with Ram Reddy, his idea about filmmaking is completely different and so alien to me. And when I just shut up and listen to him, it's so mesmerizing in the manner he looks at cinema. It's so mesmerizing when I sit with Kanu Behel and look at his aggression and in the manner he speaks about cinema or the performance. For me, it's very new. So when I'm handing myself into their hands, when I'm surrendering to them, I they are taking care of my evolution as an actor. Uh, so I think that fear of forgetting to act is constantly there, but also I started trying to find ways to overcome that, and the only way I could overcome is by putting myself completely into the hands of the new age directors who will take care of me afterwards. So yes, that is always there, and also somewhere I found a way of you know doing away with that fear.
Mhm. You're talking about evolution and constantly extending the boundaries and
Right.
looking towards the newer directors to maybe take you there. So do I assume that what you have done in the past is something that you leave behind, or do you carry that also somewhere in the recesses of your mind
No,
as an actor?
I forget. I think it's easy for me to detach myself from the past performances. I think it's personality wise, you can say. So that way, I'm gifted. I would say. For me, awards or the glory of that particular performance of that particular film, it matters to me till that point, and after that, I just kind of move on. I think I'm blessed that way, and also not carrying anything from the past is inbuilt. when I'm working with Kanu Behl now, I'm much more frustrated. He puts me into doubt, about myself. And when I'm working with Ram Reddy, he makes me constantly think about the character and the performance the whole day. And then I don't get a chance to really bask in the glory of all that one has accomplished in the past. So I am that kind of a person who doesn't like to carry that baggage. B, these directors, when I'm putting myself into their hands, they don't give me that window to put my feet up and dictate anything. And I like it that way. I like it to be nervous, to be in a situation where I feel that I need to really put my mind into it, put all my might into it, and satisfy this director's requirement on that very day. That day becomes very, very crucial, and they make it happen.
But Manoj, there is a past also present. Back in Bihar, the initial days of struggle, the tipping point where you would have realized कि actor ही बनना है. And then again with NSD, you had a lot of struggles going there. So, you can't write off that aspect, no? Because all those struggles and the pain that you underwent at a particular point in time would have contributed into making you the kind of person and actor you are.
Oh, definitely. Oh, there's no denying that fact, Namrata. But there is a way to to look at those emotional experiences or emotional memories. One is by attaching yourself and give yourself a lot of importance that you have come a long way. And B, you have an option of detaching yourself. As I said, I find it quite easy to detach myself from all of it and look at them very, very objectively. So, and that way, I find it very easy to get those memories into my performance whenever it is needed. So then I can pick and choose those memories, and wherever they can fit in, I fit them into, very objectively, without really getting indulgent about it. And look at me, how much I have gone through. I mean, that doesn't happen to me.
Mm-hmm. Long back, Manoj, in one of the conversations I had with you, you had spoken about how acting is a very, very difficult thing to do, but most people consider it very easy. There are a lot of, attendees who are, aspiring actors themselves. It would be interesting for them to hear this particular aspect and this particular point of view that you have about acting and how difficult it is,
मेरे जितने थिएटर डायरेक्टर्स थे, वो हमेशा कहते थे कि बॉस, ये साधना है. हम लोग जब कहते हैं ना साधना है, इसको साधना है. Nowadays, whenever I'm attending a workshop or conducting a workshop, my only thing is, because of so much distraction, the focus on the learning is going away. Yeah. It's more on the focus of getting the job, but the learning part, the practice, because acting cannot come without practicing, and practice can only the going to a theater school or doing theater and being in the practice and learning the craft at least for 3-4 years is very, very important. Because why I say it's very, very, it's the most difficult job in the world. Playing a different person, really getting into the skin of the different person and making that character. First of all, you create that character, give that character your own interpretation, put that flesh and blood into it and soul into it. It's not an easy job. It's not. If it's easy, if you think it's easy, you can just go ahead and try to impress people. But if you really want to express yourself, it's difficult. It's really difficult. impressing is very easy. I mean, yes, mainstream cinema does it. I have no problem with it. That's one kind of a genre which has been doing so well since so long. And those actors, because there you are trying to impress the audience, with your charm, with your charisma, with your personality. But if you are getting into somebody else, some other person's skin, okay, that is very difficult. At times it really takes you to the edge where you really don't know how to come back from it. So are you ready for that risk? Are you ready for that kind of a performance? For that, you really have to put all of yourself into it every day for years to come. We're still doing it. I still say it's very difficult. I'm acting in Abhishek Chaube's project. Every day it seems like the most difficult day or most difficult shot. I mean, with me, Konkona is there. I look at Konkona, such a remarkable actress. I mean, look at her from morning till the time it's back up. She's rehearsing. Okay, I look at other actors. Nasir sir is there from Tamil Nadu. I look at him, he's nervous, he's practicing. He doesn't need to do that. But it always depends how you look at acting. I look at it as a craft which needs a lot of practice every day till the time you decide to be in this profession.
Mm-hmm. And it is about living alternate lives then, right?
That's what
with your characters.
Yes, and then at times when I'm walking in my house doing something, and suddenly my daughter or my wife, they feel that I'm not there in that conversation, and then you have to be ready to get a shouting from them. Where are you gone? But I'm not gone. I'm not gone into somewhere else. It's just it occupies so much space in your mind that you are actually good for nothing. So it is a 24 hours job, Namrata. It completely alters you. And to say that yes, I get out of the character very fast, and I move on to some other film and the other character, but there are always bruises of the last character that you have played. And that is why I feel that actors are distracted, actors are quiet, actors are a little moody. It's nothing. It's just the bruises of those many characters that they have really played them with so much intensity, so much sincerity and focus, that they are still playing. Anyways, they're there in the back of the mind.
So it's not like switch on, switch off. You leave the set or ghar aaye and forgot about who you are playing on the set, is it? Or
I mean, there are few films which are like that, where you can afford, but they are way there. They're way there. But when you're playing Ali Gola Bhosle, you can't. Or Gali Guliyan, you really can't. When I was doing Gali Guliyan in the same house, once I was crossing my wife and she said, "What did you say?" I said, "Nothing." She said, "Are you going mad? I mean, just take care of yourself, because you're talking to yourself nowadays." So, with those kind of demanding films and the roles, you really can't afford. You can't afford to switch it off. It doesn't happen that way.
So do you take breaks between characters, so to speak? Such intense characters?
I mean, sometime 2 months, sometime 3 months, but there are always 1 month to 2 months break between two films that we do. We go through the readings and the workshops, so suddenly you are onto a new job, and on a conscious level you forget about the last role that you played.
All these years of acting, Manoj, what has been the most gratifying thing about the craft? How is it kind of enriched you, if it has?
It really humbles you completely, because one moment you feel that you've done so much, and when you go on the set, you suddenly you are faced with the challenges, and you start thinking that you don't know anything. so it's the acting is, it's such an humbling experience, and also it's, you start understanding people through through those experiences, and you are much more non-judgmental. I think true actors are non-judgmental because they know actors through their characters that they have played or through themselves. And the real actors are the people who are always looking at themselves. Their eyes are turned in towards themselves. Those are the actors that I really like.
Mm-hmm. Is there anything very frustrating about being an actor?
Very frustrating, yes. Mm. To be judged by the numbers, Namrata, is very frustrating. It's that is why, I mean, that's one reason that I love this OTT phase. Where you're just looking at the performances. Even if you don't like me, at least you're not. It's not based on the numbers. If you're not liking my, if you're liking my performance or the film or the story that I'm part of, you are liking me only for the quality of it, and not for the reason that it has earned such and such numbers in 3 days. So that's one such a big relief at this point of time. I really don't know how long it will last, but yes, at this point of time, that's such a big relief.
I'm glad you brought the OTT bit in, because it's a question I was kind of hoping to put across to you. At one level, actors are required to be versatile in terms of the range of characters and the range of emotions that they portray. Now, I'm also finding that of late, there is another versatility required, which is the versatility of the medium, and you have been able to negotiate it very well, in terms of being, on the big screen and being, having roots in theater and now with the OTT. Do you think that, like you, other actors also need to have that, that versatility to embrace all sorts of mediums?
If I succeeded, as you say, thank you very much, but I succeeded only because I don't look down upon it. The why I don't look down upon it, because I look at a script and I take it as an opportunity. For me, actor is far more superior, and when actor is getting a character to play, and everything else is just right. So you are only concerned about the real outcome of it. Okay, how well you are going to play it, how the directors are going to direct you, how they are crafting the scene, in what way you are going to do the characterization and put your interpretation into it, the backstory. So you are more interested in all of this than the medium. The cinema itself, over these couple of decades, I would say that has failed in our country to really do justice to the talent. And if OTT is giving me that chance, I should better respect it, and and do go all out and do justice to whatever I'm being offered. And that role or that character or that story or that entire project, if it is looking at par with anything in the world, I'll be a foolish person to really judge it only because it's not being shown in the theater. Okay, eventually I want to be known for the performances, right, that I do, or the choices that I make, whether it is being shown in a theater or not. How does it matter?
Linked with that, and the fact that you talked about the constant evolution that an actor needs, and the constant challenges that she or he gets faced with. COVID has given its own unique challenge to filmmaking in general. How has it challenged an actor in particular?
Um, on one hand, COVID has been such a blessing because people were all locked up and they didn't have any other medium to go to, and the OTT was the only way that they could entertain themselves or they could get busy with inside their houses. But at the same time, when you are getting out, there are two things that is happening in your mind. A, will you be infected today? I'm or not. And the second thing that is coming to your mind, that even if the outside world is not so easy to operate in, this is a chance I'm getting when nobody else is getting to work. This is the chance I'm getting, not only in terms of work, but also I'm getting a chance to get so many people on the set, and make sure that nothing happens, and we all of us do such a great job that the directors, all my directors get encouraged and they think of shooting more and more films, because it's all about job at the end of the day. When I see the lightmen wearing the mask and working from 5 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the evening, I am thanking my luck that I'm working that day. It's not easy to be surrounded by all masked up people, and you are the only one who is not wearing the mask, and you have to be in the character, and you have to do justice to the scene that you are doing. So if the fear is constantly playing in your mind, you can't do it. But you can't help but to be fearful at the same time. So how to separate that from the job that you are getting to do? Yeah, it's quite a we go through all kind of mixed emotions every day. I got infected when I was shooting, okay, and the shooting got hampered. So those are the challenges in this time. But at the same time, we really feel blessed that we are working. We really feel blessed that we are getting to get out and act apart from those challenges.
Manoj, one question I'll ask and then move on to the Q&A, because I see a lot of questions piling on from the attendees. You talked about observing Konkana on the sets, and I was noticing the pictures that you posted, in the award ceremony. You were with Dhanush and you were with Vijay Sethupathi. I got a feeling that, you are as much an observer of other actors as you are an actor yourself. Is that true? Do you kind of keep tabs on how, the other performances, the other films? How is it? I mean, is it something that I'm right in believing?
I mean, you just got it right. I keep watching films but in my break time when I'm not shooting. When I'm shooting, I'm so preoccupied with the character that I don't let it get interrupted or obstructed by something else. So I'm mostly away from watching. I'm mostly away from reading also, anything else. But when I'm watching, I'm really watching. So the Malayalam cinema is, on the back of my hand. All the actors who are busy, all the directors, and I have a list. I keep making the list that I want to work with, and some people I also talk to. I organize their numbers and I speak to them. Tamil Nadu, Tamil film industry, Sethupathi or Dhanush and so many other directors. So, and when I meet them or I call them, this is purely out of my own curiosity as to what kind of person that he is, how he approaches his role, how he is choosing his films, and how he's adjusting with different school of different schools that he's getting to work under. So this time when I met Dhanush, we were talking about Vetri, we were talking about Silva, so and all the films that he's been doing. So we're sure the actors share their. I personally share their interpretation of acting in these kind of films. So and somewhere I feel that Dhanush or Vijay Sethupathi, or me for that matter, the one thing is common, that I personally am a big fan of middle of the road cinema in this country. I really feel that middle of the road cinema can really help the independent filmmaking movement. If it can really get the audience to independent films, then the independent films themselves can actually get the audience for themselves. So middle of the road cinema is something that we all are quite passionate about. And the kind of films that they get to do, Dhanush or Sethupathi, or the films that Vetri and Silva, all of these guys make, or the Mahesh in Malayalam. Okay, so those are the films that can do so much good for the independent film movement. Though they are not making independent films, but it can do so much good to the independent film movement in our country.
Which kind of, makes me wonder, because, there is this general perception that actors are very insecure human beings. You seem very far from it.
No, I'm envious, definitely. If you ask me, I'm envious of Irfan, of all that he has achieved. I'm envious of Nawazuddin Siddiqui, the kind of EQ that gentleman has. I don't think anybody else has it. Such a remarkable, actor Nawaz is, or for that matter, Jaideep, that all the understanding of acting that he has shown in Patal Lok, I was completely thrown off when I looked at his performance in few of the shots. Was mesmerizing. Or for that matter, Gulshan Devaya, I feel that he deserves a lot more than what he's got till now. When I saw his first film, Girls in Yellow Boat, on Rag Kashyap's film, he was outstanding. I really feel that he should get more and more such roles, or better roles to do. And there are so many actors, Namrata, or Pankaj for that matter. So these are the actors I learned from, and we should if we really want talents to thrive in this country, which sadly has not been the case till now, all of us should really tell the people what you are learning from each other, rather than being insecure about it. It's very important. It's very important if we really want to want our talent, or our kind of actors' talent, to be celebrated. Otherwise, there is no chance, because it's very important to celebrate each other.
I think I now know why you are such a wonderful actor and human being. I think it's your generosity which is the crucial thing. I'm going to move on to all the people who want to ask you questions. One by one, I'm taking the questions. There is one from an anonymous attendee. It would be great if you guys can put in your names, Anyhow, the question says, when you're working on a film such as Bhosle, does getting into such a serious character mind space ever become overwhelming?
It's quite overwhelming. I mean, the Bhosle is a very, the whole making of Bhosle has been very, very unique and quite taxing in a way. It took us 4 years to find the finance. And when we were shooting, even then, we were not clear as to when the exact money will be coming in to finish the film. So Bhosle was a personal journey for me, because more it got rejection from the producers or the financiers, my resolve about the film, kept on getting stronger and stronger. So getting Asia Pacific Best Actor or National Award for it, it's kind of a poetic justice for me. I somehow realized that, without any malice, without any anger, if you get after your conviction with all your might into it, no way that you can go wrong. No way. I mean, Bhosle has been such a remarkable learning from me. Devashish and me, we just held each other's hands and just, kept on hoping that it will be made. And for 4 years, Devashish Makhija has reduced my dialogues from 100 dialogues to 12 dialogues. So we started from that script, and we shot this script where Bhosle had only 12 dialogues, including the yes and no. That's all. So yes, it is. So 4 years I was working on the character. So 4 years we were going through new draft, working on it, talking about it, getting into the character again, starting from the scratch. So when we started shooting, I knew the character from the back of my hand. Okay, Bhosle was always there in me. It was always there. The Bhosle was prepared. It was with me, even when I was doing something else. Even when I was looking for the producer for the film, it was. But when we started shooting, suddenly we were in a place where, in between two shots in such a difficult film, while playing such a difficult character, I'm getting out and talking on the phone and trying to organize the money for the 5th day. So it's it has been a very unique journey, Bhosle.
Another question: when you look back at your career, what are the most iconic roles for you?
For my own filmography.
Yeah, your own filmography.
Oh, that's so tough, because when I watch my own films after 3-4 years, start getting annoyed with my own performance. So, but yes, I would say that the Satya. I mean, Satya is something I can't forget the experience of watching it on big screen. And when I was watching it just a year back, I thought that I'm going to hate it because now times have changed. But no, I mean, and I'm not the only one. Everyone says that Satya stands the test of time. So whichever film stands the test of time, or I would say Aligarh for that matter, or I personally feel that Budhia Singh is my best performance. I personally feel that.
I think I agree with you. I think it was a fabulous film. You were fantastic in it.
Yeah.
And somewhere it kind of didn't reverberate in the way other films have. It kind of, I don't know. I mean, for the lack of a better word, I think it deserved much more.
Much more, yes. And as Anurag has put it in one of his posts, that the bad luck with Budhia Singh is that it came in the year of Aligarh. That's how that's how it kind of people could not care that much. But I would through this interview, I would request everyone to watch this film on Netflix anytime and give their opinion, good or bad, anything.
Would you ever want to write a film?
More than writing, takes a lot of job. But yes, I'm looking for a script which can really encourage me to direct. Now I can say that till now, Namrata, when I was on the set, I could not think about my performance in terms of the shots. Okay. And I was looking for a day which would happen, very naturally to me, when I will start thinking about a project or a story which I'm part of, in terms of shots, the shot division and all of that. Now it's happening, and it is happening very naturally. I'm not even forcing myself. So I think it's time. I'm getting there. I would definitely direct a film before I really put my, hang my shoes. I'll definitely direct a film.
Which makes me very curious, an actor of your caliber directing another actor. Is there any wish list of the actors that you would want to direct?
I would love to direct all the names that I have earlier mentioned, I would I feel that I can only work with good actors, because I will not have patience to really having a acting workshop on the set.
Going back to the iconic character Bhiku Matre, Satya, there is one question asking you, how do you think your films from the RGV days have contributed to how the industry has changed?
Oh, it's I mean, it's just for everyone to see. And I personally feel that one person has changed the industry, completely. From the industry that it used to be to the industry that it is right now. It is that person's arrogance. Arrogantly, he went after doing things that he wanted to do, and everything that he was doing was turning into gold at that point of time. And the directors that he was pushing and encouraging, all the writers, including Anurag and Simit Amin and Shriram Raghavan, company, Satya, Shul, Khan, so many films that he has produced, so many films that he has directed. If you just look back and see the that era, that time, that 5 years or 6 years time, it has completely changed the industry. I mean, you can go ahead and give credit to some other people, but they have made one film. Okay. One film in 5 years. But Ram Gopal Verma has made films every year, or every 7 months. He was really, pushing it hard and throwing it, there in the theaters for people to see and watch. And that kind of aggression and arrogance was required those days to really change the industry, which was so commercially oriented. There was no space for anything else. And that in that time, when we landed in this city, we really didn't know where to go to ask for work, because they didn't have work for us. They were not making films for our kind of actors. And to come from there and here, sometimes I feel that I have been extremely extraordinarily lucky to see this time. Yes, journey has been very hard and very tough. At times you are just waiting for one Zubeda to happen, or one Shul to happen, or one Aks to happen. Okay, but the waiting period used to be very, very long. Now the actors of today, they don't have to wait. Once you are recognized in one performance, suddenly you have choices. Those days, after doing Bhiku Matre, I didn't have a choice. The choice was there to either to become a villain and get thrashed in the end by the hero. That's all. That's the only choice I had.
Arnav wants to know that do you still get nervous before filming any big scene? If you do, what is it that helps you keep the nervousness away?
Oh, yes. Now I don't show my nervousness. Earlier, I used to get into the corner, keep quiet, and each and every assistant director used to feel so frightened even to come and ask me to come to the shot. So that used to be the scene. Now, when I'm nervous, I have learned how not to show it. So either I'm practicing or laughing or talking to the director or joking around, but in your mind you are practicing, because that has become a second nature. The practice has become a second nature. So for that, you really don't have to get into one corner and start practicing. I know I do my rehearsals. Then you are on one track. The lines are going on. You are thinking about the idea. You are thinking about what are the new things that you can try out. Or what are the new nuances that you really get into play. So all of those things. Now I'm much more I'm much more comfortable in hiding my nervousness, I would say.
Siddharth Thakkar wants to know, Your process of embodying a character, particular methods or drills that you use.
It depends. It actually varies from film to film. And I also tell all the fellow actors or the actors that I conduct my workshop with that, your method should not be about it. You should have only one method. You learn everything. You practice, you do your workshops, you go for Meisner, you go for Brecht, you go for Stanislavski, you go for everything. But at the end of the day, you have to be very open, because all the characters that you are getting to play, they have different demands and requirements. But the common things that you can do is by making the backstory, going through the scripts as many times as possible, noting down all the elements. Sometimes the character elements don't come from the character itself, it comes from the mouth of or the movement of the other characters. So keep noting down as many times you read, as many times as possible. You keep reading the script, but also when I'm doing a series, it's so hard. You are reading 9 episodes, Namrata. You are reading 9 episodes, you are reading it again and again and again and again. After 9, 10 times, you feel that you know it backwards, but actually you don't know it. you forget, again you flip through. So it's a constant thing. I think that's one basic thing that everyone should do, apart from all the methods that you have or you apply for any role. Reading the script as many times as possible is essential. Is you really can't do without it. You really can't do without it.
Chandna wants to know if there is any particular genre of filmmaking that you would like to explore.
Slapstick. Yeah, slapstick is something that I have not done, but that's the only thing. And I think I've done the pot boilers also. I've done all sorts of things, especially that if you're working in Hindi film industry, you get to do everything. Now, for whatever reason, you just get to do everything. But slapstick is one thing that I have not done. I really don't know how good I will be in that genre. But yeah, if I get to do something really worthwhile, not the kind of slapstick that we make.
There is a question from Kalsang from McLeodganj, who wants to know that, DIF has been screening a number of Tibetan films. Have you watched? What's your observation and remarks about the independent Tibetan films?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm very sorry that I haven't seen a Tibetan film. If you have any, I will request Ritu to send a link to me. But yes, I have seen many films from many parts of this country. But yes, I'm very sorry that I haven't seen any of the Tibetan films. I would be very happy if I get the link, or if I can. I'm very bad in finding out films on computer, because I come from the era of transistor. So I'm still very bad.
Another question, do you feel that as an actor, if you give a great performance in a particular role, then there is a danger of getting typecast, especially in the character, if the character comes from the same region and has natural affinities to your own background?
Yeah, I mean, it's up to you. The whole stereotyping business is always an actor's fault. If actor is desperate, if actor has patience and belief in himself, then he can always refuse to be stereotyped. It's always up to the actor how long he can wait. To really break this stereotype, it is in your hand. You will have to wait patiently for one role to happen that will break this stereotype, or any idea about you as an actor. That can only be you are the only one who can break it, and nobody else.
A person who wants to, this is a person who's a student from Delhi University second year and wants to become an actor and pursue FTII acting course, and wants to know from you how to prepare for it. What can he do from his side? to
Or nothing. I
realize
mean,
this ambition?
yeah. So I would say that if you're in second year and did Delhi University, you are lucky to be studying in that university. I'm from Delhi University. I know for a fact that you have too many facilities, to really involve yourself in theater. Do theater, small or big. Just involve yourself in theater activities, and by the time you graduate from there, you will be ready uh, uh, to go for FTII entrance exam.
Another aspiring actor, his name is Bhupendra, wants to know about the rhythm of speech in acting. If you could tell a bit more about that.
Okay, speech. uh, I would say that I have been very lucky to really learn it from the best in my time. If you can find, if you can find, sorry, if you can find the number of Vineet Kumar from National School of Drama, he's a senior actor. I don't think anybody else can teach you speech as better than him. He was busy in theater when I was doing theater, and I've been taught speech by so many other. Shri Vallabh Vyasji, who is no more now, he was one of my teachers. I have learned it from some other actors too. But when I started meeting Vineet, he has kind of opened my eyes about speech. The rhythm of the speech is very important, no matter how real or natural it may seem to the audience, but it has to be practiced. The rhythm, the sur, the music of it has to be practiced. It has to be well thought about. So speech is one thing. That's a very good question. Actually, I focused a lot on learning the speech from various people.
Another question says, sir, you are a great actor, but did it ever happen that on your set, your performance was not coming from your heart and you felt like you are not doing justice to the scene? Then what did you do at that time?
Yes, it happens almost every second day, I must tell you, my friend. Because you actors are human beings, they are made of flesh and blood. There are too many things happening in their mind. Sometimes they are distracted. Yes, I am distracted at times. There are other aspects of Manoj Bajpayee, the person. They come clashing with the work that he's doing. At times, when one is distracted, I take time off. You just can't go ahead without being 100%. So you just take time. You go to the director and you ask him to give you 10 minutes, and he understands exactly what you're talking about. So when I ask my director to give me 10 minutes, he immediately breaks the set. And I get that 10 minutes. I'm not the only privileged one that way. Let me tell you, my friend, each and every actor, whenever I have seen from my own eyes, whenever they go to their director and say that they are distracted or they need that 10 minutes time to prepare themselves, each and every director gives them that time. The directors are always very, very considerate. So this is what I do. When I feel that I'm not giving 100%, I just take time off.
Manoj, I'm sorry. I think we've kind of gone well past the hour that you had given us, allotted us. And I'm sorry.
No, it's all right. It's all right. I'm enjoying it now.
So would you take one question? I think there is one other question which is there on the open, which says, sir, theater ka time aapka kya schedule tha aur abhi kya hai for building a character?
Okay. नहीं, बिल्डिंग अ कैरेक्टर का कोई शेड्यूल नहीं होता है. जो टाइम मिलता है बिल्डिंग अ कैरेक्टर का, जैसा मैंने कहा कि जब आप स्क्रिप्ट आपको मिलता है वहीं से आपकी शुरू होती है जर्नी एज टू हाउ टू बिल्ड द कैरेक्टर. वहां से नोटिंग डाउन शुरू होता है. जब नोट डाउन आप सारा कुछ कर लेते हैं तो उसके बेस पे आप पूरी की पूरी बैक स्टोरी तैयार करते हैं. बैक स्टोरी तैयार करने के बाद वही नोट और वो बैक स्टोरी के कुछ नोट्स आपको कैरेक्टराइजेशन में हेल्प करते हैं. और फिर आप उसको लेकर के डायरेक्टर के पास जाते हैं। डायरेक्टर्स उसमें से कुछ चीजें अप्रूव करता है, बहुत सारी चीजें वो नहीं अप्रूव करता है। देन ही गिव्स यू मोर एलिमेंट्स to include. Then you take all of that and start working on it. So it it varies. Sometimes you crack it in 15 days. Sometimes you crack it in 1 month. Sometimes you can't even crack it in 2 months. And sometimes you crack it on the set, because there's so many things that you prepare. Suddenly, when you start doing it in front of the camera, or you start doing the rehearsal in front of the director, you start feeling that none of it is working, and then you have to build, look at it differently. So one has, if you are in the practice, if you know the character, then you can actually cancel everything and build the character all over again. But you have to know the character very well.
That, I think, is the last question for the evening. Thank you so much, Manoj, for sparing the time and being so generous in offering your perspective on acting and so much else. With that, I think we should come to the end of the session and look forward to the festival now. All the best, Team DIF. Have a great festival. All the attendees and viewers, have a great festival.
Thank you, Namrata. Thank you, DIF, Ritu, and I would really urge and request all the viewers to just go ahead and enjoy the well-curated, films at DIF. Don't miss it. You'll get to see some of the great films.
While we wait for your next great performance, Manoj, thank you so much for your generosity in terms of the times and in your sharing your opinion. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.